just so grateful for all the fathers here. Thank you for the way you sacrifice and serve. One of the fathers in this room today is a man named Mark Philippi. Mark is awesome. Mark is our lead elder at our church. Mark is a gift from God. I think that's probably the best way I can explain him. And anyone who attends an elder meeting that I previously led and now he leads agrees. Because Mark is just an absolute blessing, not only to me, although he is personally. One of the things that our church says, we have a couple big statements. We say we grow best when we grow together. And Mark is a man who is dedicated to helping the church grow together. Another thing that I like to say is I want to surround myself with people who have the attitude of a relentless learner. And Mark is someone who has the attitude of a relentless learner. And so to celebrate that today, Mark has just recently finished our discipleship program level 1. He is now in level 2. And so our church purchased for him a brand new study Bible that we'd like to give him today as a way of celebrating the fact that he is a great father, he is also a great elder, and he's finished that. So Mark, could you come up here for a minute? I know you do not enjoy any of this moment right now, but Mark recently finished that, and just the man's spirit is contagious. Every time I'm around him, I am refreshed, and I'm blessed, and I love you, and so there you go, man. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Today we're also blessed because we have in the room 2 students named Devin and Ella Martin. And Devin and Ella Martin are incredible people. So I'm going to ask you 2 to come up real quick. Today's going to be special. I'm going to interview Devin and Ella about their father and about their heavenly Father. And we're just going to ask them some questions, give them the opportunity to answer. And I wanted to do this as a way of just, I kind of wanted to thank Coach Martin personally. I'm able to do FCA at Westerville Central High School. And that is a huge blessing to me because I get to meet kids like this. And I remember the first time I went, I really didn't know what to expect with FCA. I'm like, okay, I'm going in. You know, I was raised in a very small private school in northern Michigan. And so I was just convinced that, like, public school, all these kids are going to be like, just like, who are you? What are you doing? You got the Bible with you? You know, like, I was like, I don't know what to expect. And I had met Coach Brenning, and he began to talk to me about FCA. And soon I was able to go in and meet just incredible kids like this. And I'm finally old enough to call them kids. But to me, before we interview, I want to thank Coach Martin personally. Can we do that as a church? Can we give him? This man is a blessing to me. He did not know me from Adam. And he could have easily said, there is no way I'm trusting you with the culture of my team. There's just no way. I don't know you. But he allows FCA to come in and be a part of helping shape culture. That's something that I love to be a part of and strive to be a part of. And to be able to invest in kids is a huge blessing, particularly athletes, is a huge blessing. And so he allowed us to come in, allowed us to do this, and then he's just been, I've learned a lot just from watching him. I love to watch leaders. Something that I just enjoy doing. And I've been able to watch him lead and coach, and I've been able to watch him be an example of someone who is a relentless learner, someone who is inspiring younger generations to be relentless learners. And I've watched him just be dedicated to the game of basketball. And I learned a lot just from going to occasional practices and being at games from him. And so super grateful for you, man. Love you and very thankful for you. And of course, one of the ways that you know a man is a great man is by their kids. If you meet kids who are great kids, you know that there's a really, really good father. Devin and I first started meeting through FCA, and Devin was, I quickly learned, an incredible young man. Absolutely just like top of the game young man. And my dad was my coach. Your dad is your coach. I remember my last game with my dad just hugging and being like, I can't believe this is it. Like, this is done. It was just a powerful moment to wish there was more, but also to be super grateful for all the moments that I had. And it takes grace on both of you to be able to have a coach for a dad. That's not an easy thing. I'm a pastor's kid and a coach's kid. Not an easy thing, but both of you handle that with so much grace. And then recently, knowing Devin as well as I do and being able to be around Devin, I had not met Ella. I had just heard that this girl can score 32 points quicker than you can blink. So I was able to meet you at the FCA awards banquet, and you spoke at it. And I was like, this girl's got it together. And I always wanted to interview Devin, but once I met Ella, I'm like, oh, yeah, she's really eloquent. She's a good speaker. She's as good a baller as anybody. I'm going to interview both of them together. And so thank you guys for coming. Can you guys give me an example of how great it is to have your dad so involved in your life, either through sports or through any other area of life? And Devin, Ella, you got to be a gentleman to let her go first. So, one area, one way.
Having my dad so involved in my life has been great, especially through sports, because there's always someone there at our games. Just I always look up in the stands and know my dad's there, supporting me, pushing me, wanting me to succeed, and really just wanting me to be the best person and basketball player I can be. So I just know I always have him in my corner and supporting me.
Mine's a little different from Ella because Ella had dad in the stands. I had him on the sideline. So, like, I knew he was there. But he's obviously been a lot more than just a coach for me. But I'd say he's just always held me to such a high standard. And that kind of made me hold myself to a high standard, not just in basketball, but, like, in school or, like, anything I did. Just because of the standard he had for me kind of helped mold myself into the standard that I held for myself just in life in general.
Tell me one or more things, and we'll go with you, Devin, first this time, that you admire about your dad.
Yeah. I feel like one thing that when I think of my dad right away that a lot of people as a coach might not like point out is just kind of how selfless he is. He's definitely, I can say this without a doubt, he really is like the most selfish person I know. Just because of the way he handles himself and just like leads our family. He's always putting me, Ella, and then a little sister Brendan before himself and our mom. He's really always put us first in everything we do. He's shown up to everything, and selfless is definitely a word I would use to describe my dad.
One thing I admire about our dad is how hardworking and dedicated he is. Our dad works so hard to be selfless and be able to give everyone in our family anything we could like dream of. He really just works so hard to give us everything we want. And even like as a basketball coach, I remember like it'd be like late at night and I'd just see him sitting there watching film. Like it'd be the night after a game, he'd be rewatching the game, just like working so hard for his players, and they might not even realize it. But he really is just so hardworking and works so hard for everyone he cares about.
Yeah, that's good. What's your favorite part of your personal relationship with your dad?
My favorite part about my relationship with my dad is that obviously we have a relationship through basketball because that's just a way we've bonded because we have it in common, but we can also turn that off and be able to like connect outside of basketball and not circle our whole relationship around that. We can connect outside of basketball and like joke around, just have fun. Not everything has to be all about basketball, all about like teaching. We can just relax and joke around and have fun.
Kind of wish I went first because we kind of have the same answer, but him being my coach, it's like it would get intense some days in practice. Like,
I've been there.
You know. But like just like being able to like push each other and just to be the best in basketball and everything. But as soon as we walked off the court, we left everything basketball there, and like even after a horrible game, like he's just like dad and son. Like that was amazing for me because I don't know if any kid in the world it'd be really hard for them to kind of not be able to switch that off. And then since Ella kind of said the same thing, I'll say one more. He's just like a funny guy. Like he's like he makes me laugh and really enjoy being around him. So he's one of my best friends. So
that's cool. I'm gonna ask a really, really important, very serious question. If the three of us were playing basketball, who would win? Who would win?
Me.
She just lied to everybody. She knows the answer.
Neither one of you thinks me, though. I guess.
Maybe you. I'll give you a chance.
How has God been like a father to you as you've gone through your teen years? That's certainly a challenging time, but we need God as our father. So how's he been like a father to you?
God's been a father to me just like, and by enabling me to see the world through like a different lens. It's been like it's an everyday struggle, but just like I feel like I'm able to just be happy and kind of find peace in today's world just by knowing that like my worth or like my fulfillment isn't in like school, basketball, like things of the world. It's just kind of in Him, and it's really hard to grasp sometimes. And obviously, I fail at all the time. But like, I'm able to kind of find like a peace every day, just because I know like my worth and fulfillment isn't from the world; it's from Him. So that's kind of been a way He's been like a father to me.
Similar to what Devin said, like God just really gives me a more peaceful lifestyle. Like sometimes I'll be talking to my friends and they'll be like complaining about something. I'm just like sitting there. I'm like this doesn't matter at all. Like there's so many like bigger things. Like this doesn't matter. Like you can just choose peace and choose to not go about the situation. And then also God has been with me through it all. Like He's seen me at my highest points. He's seen me at my lowest points. Like God sees it all. The times where I've been closest to Him, times when I've kind of been a little distant, He's been there and He's never turned His back on me. And I've had situations where I've just like sat there, I've been like, oh, like how am I gonna get through this test? Like I have so much to do. I have a basketball game, I have a big game coming up, all my schoolwork's piling up, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then a week will go by and I'll look back and I'll be like, wow, like God really just like carried me through that. Like my big test wasn't as difficult as I thought it was gonna be. And like sometimes I'll literally look back and I'll be like, that was all God. Like I don't know how I got through all of that. God really just like, when I can't do it, He lifts me up and He carries me through it.
Wait, didn't I just answer that? Am I too? Did I?
Oh, I asked you again? All right, sorry.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, maybe.
What is one thing that you appreciate about God?
Definitely just that, like, it sounds cliche and everyone kind of knows it, but like, just He always kind of welcomes me back. Like, when I feel like I go away from Him a little bit, or like I'm not being as consistent in like just everyday things like prayer, reading my Bible, and everything. Just the ability to know that like I can mess up and like I'm not perfect, and everyone knows that. But it's just really a relieving feeling knowing that like I don't have to do everything on my own, and like I can have just someone like Him always to go back to.
That's beautiful. How about you?
Yeah. One thing I appreciate about God is He just allows me to live that peaceful life by allowing me to place all my trust in Him. Like if I start feeling myself getting stressed or anxious, I'll just like pray, I'll hand it to God, and I'll be like, I trust that you know what to do. And then I can go about my day without having that sort of burden on me, because I know that God's got it all under control, and He already knows what's going to happen with this situation I'm handing Him. Like He already knows exactly how it's going to play out, and it's going to play out according to His plan. So I can just trust in Him and be able to live kind of like almost carefree, like not worrying about what's going to happen next and just enjoying the moment I'm in.
Yeah. How do you guys, and I know you're both very, very busy. Devin, you're about to go to Wheaton University, right? And you're about to be a junior. So you're in a very, very busy couple of years of life. You've got, as you mentioned, tests and basketball and all the parts of life. How do you guys manage to walk with God, during the busy season?
One way I make sure to like maintain walking with God is just spending time with Him, whether it's a lot of time or a little bit of time. Like I always read His Word. Some days I'm reading like multiple chapters from my Bible, and then others it's just like a verse of the day notification on my phone. But I'm always reading part of His Word. And then I always make sure I pray and spend time, like one-on-one time with God. Like first thing I wake up, the first thing I do is pray. And same thing right before I go to bed. I just like sit there and I pray and I talk to God. And just because it's so simple, like right when you wake up, just wake up like 5 minutes earlier and just spend that time, one-on-one time with God and just speak to Him and just build that relationship. And then throughout the day, like some days I'm praying more throughout the day than I am others. And that just depends on the day. But I always make sure to spend some time with God and read His Word.
Yeah, definitely gets busy sometimes, like we all do. But one thing this year that like I kind of picked up on was just like whether it's like just taking a couple seconds or like a couple minutes to myself, just kind of no matter where I'm at, just kind of taking a second to like look around. What I like to think about is like just kind of look around and like whether you like say a little prayer or not, just like taking a second to kind of look around and slow down, and just kind of be like thankful. Because I'm trying to focus on gratitude this whole year, just with being my senior year and everything, and just kind of slowing down a little bit. So taking a second, just every once in a while when I'm busy, no matter where I'm at, just to kind of like look around, and just thank God, kind of, just because it gets hard.
Yeah, I love that. What is one thing you would like to say to your dad and to all of the dads that are here today?
All the dads, happy Father's Day and thank you, because even if you don't think it or know it, there's someone you are definitely have a huge impact on in your life and in their life. And to my dad, thank you for basketball and non-basketball. You've been the biggest role model in my life ever since I can remember, and even when I don't show it or you may not know it, I've always, even up since I was a little kid till now, just try to be like you. I really do every day. So, thanks.
How about you?
Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Sometimes us kids aren't as appreciative or don't show our gratitude as much as we should, but we really are so thankful for everything our dads do for us, even if we're not very good at showing it. And to my dad, thank you so much for just everything you've given me, everything I have. It's because you've provided it for me. I just want to say thank you for giving me this life. I've loved always going to your basketball games, supporting you. Ever since I can remember, we've been going, supporting you at your basketball games. I've always cherished those moments, even just the little things like that, like watching you coach Devin, whether it's his travel team, his high school team, and then all going home, just having a good time, being able to spend time together and just love each other so much. Thank you for giving us that.
That's awesome. Can we give these guys a round of applause? I'm going to ask, in just a minute, I'm going to ask the worship team to come up, but I want to thank you too. Thank you for being here, willing to do this. Thank you for being a part of Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Devin, seeing you every Wednesday early and locked in is just something that's awesome to me. And Ella, I've talked to Mr. Forrest and others who are like, that girl, she has got it figured out. And so I want to thank the two of you. Walking with God is not easy at any point, but particularly high school, it can be troubling. It can be difficult to do. And you two are doing that and into college. And I'm super proud of both of you and thankful for both of you. And of course, thank you for coming today and for being willing to do this. Could you answer one more question for us? You tell us a way that your dad has impacted your life spiritually, and then I'll let you go.
My dad has impacted my life spiritually because he's always kind of demonstrated just little things that like you can see comes from God. Like this year he's coached my AU team, so it's my first time actually having him as a coach. And I can just like see sometimes he chooses to have patience in those times where he could overreact, but he chooses to kind of be patient, go about some situations with grace. And he really demonstrates that God is important and always reminded us that that's what comes first. And so even since I was a little kid, like I've always noticed that about him. That's really helped build my relationship with God.
I wish you would have chose patience with me. I'm just kidding. He doesn't know this, but whenever I was little, he would always like, he doesn't do this anymore, but he'd like come like put me to bed, like tuck me into bed. And he would always just tell me like, make sure I'm saying my prayers, and I would do it every night. So that's like, that is literally like something he's like physically done that's helped me grow closer to God. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much for coming. Let's give them another round of applause. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. As they're coming down and the worship team's coming up, I just want to close this part of the service with just kind of thinking about today, thinking about this moment, and thinking about how God is our Father and He provides. I don't even know fully how to say all of this. I've been trying to practice it all week. But I've wanted to be involved in sports since I was a kid, and unfortunately, I'm rather short and not very athletic, so that wasn't really the option for me. But God provided a way for me to be involved in that. He's a good father. He provides like good fathers do. And so being able to be a part of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, for me to be able to spiritually help young athletes mature has been absolutely beautiful and powerful and wonderful. And coaches like Coach Martin who allow this to happen, and all of you fathers who allow people to pour spiritually into your life. And many years ago, there used to be a guy that I called Max the Tank, and Max and I would work out together, and he would lift about twice as much as I would, about twice as fast as I would, and we would kind of talk trash a little bit. I'd be like, is that all you're gonna do today? 475? Come on. Like just talk a little bit of trash to him. And I just think it's amazing that over years, Max and I have been able to have conversations about Jesus while working out. And God kept us close enough that our conversations would continue throughout years where he was down in Johnstown and we were doing all these different things. And then God recently has brought him to Westerville Central. And I'm so excited to be able to continue to be a part of what God is doing with these athletes. And I think that is all a work of God. I mean, you could not plan that any better than that God, our Father, would say, hey, I care about students. I want people to care about students like I do. I'm going to put people in this path of life so that we can care about them together. And so I'm so grateful for that. It matters. It matters. We tell this story a lot, but a couple years ago, Charlie started coming to our church, and we said, hey, Charlie, you're one teenager. We're starting a youth ministry, and you are it. You're the guy. We're starting with you. And Charlie is an incredible young man. And we saw God begin to bring other people around. And here in 2 Sundays, we'll baptize 2 of the teenagers. That's just God working. He is just drawing people and moving people like a good father does. And so I'm grateful for a God, our Father, who works in our lives. He provides for us, He cares for us, He loves us, gives us opportunities to serve Him in ways that He knows we can handle, in ways that sometimes we're like, I'm not sure I can do this. He's like that Father who just pushes us. He just pushes us. Like a good coach pushes his son, Devin. He's like, you can do this. You can do more. Give a little more. And I'm excited for the future of what God's doing. I'm excited for what God is doing now. And I'm thankful for what God has been doing. So I'm going to ask you all to stand to your feet with me.